You missed all this great gold with us just chatting away, chatting rubbish. He's got to start record from the beginning of the. I don't need to tell you.
Hello and welcome to Matt Clewes and I am joined by the one and only Mark Reed. Hello.
The one and only. No, that's normally reserved for Chesney Hawks, but thank you. I appreciate that. I'll take that.
Yeah, Taylor. How are you doing?
Yeah, really good. As well as can be, really, considering third lockdown. And I'm certainly getting sick of my own company. So much, in fact, that I've resorted to doing crazy YouTube shows and random videos.
Of course.
Happens. How are you getting on?
Yeah, I've been good as well. As I say, getting through it, dealing with the work studio, the makeshift bedroom studio, of course, who isn't. Yeah. Hopefully no one judges me too much for the background, because I feel like there's a lot of that going around. Not that there's much. Anyway. Yeah,
I do find myself looking at the things in the background and wondering what's that on the shelf there. But yeah, I mean, you could always just do what most people do and just green screen a fancy background of a massive bookshelf or something like that. That seems to be quite popular. Yeah. I've kind of done that here. I've got a bookshelf tissue box.
I like it. Fancy. I like that. That is that. I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, I mean, looking at your room, people might think that you're a football fan. Liverpool?
No.
No. Sorry, let's carry on with the interview before you end it.
There we go. So last time we spoke, you were doing the show about the songs for the Sherman Brothers. Yes. It's been a few years. Sum up those few years in a nutshell for me. What you've been up to, which is probably quite hard.
I can't. Whenever I hear "in a nutshell," I can't think of anything else but Austin Powers going, "This is me in a nutshell." Help! How did I get in this bloody great nutshell? Anyway, since doing the Spoonful of Sherman, which was a musical tour. About the music of the Sherman Brothers, who obviously wrote the songs for Mary Poppins and The Jungle Book and many great Disney films. That was fantastic and an amazing experience. Since then, I've done several other tours, and A1 have been very busy. We've done various tours around the world in Asia and Scandinavia, as well as in the UK. We did the Boys Are Back tour, which was bringing several boy bands of the era on tour, which is brilliant. And we were actually on that particular tour when the pandemic hit and we had to cut it short. So yeah, like many musicians and many performers, we've been massively disrupted, as has everyone, and send my sympathies out to anybody who has been affected. But yeah, so it's been a strange time, but very productive, but strange as well. So
yeah, as you say about tours, you actually got a tour due for later on in the year.
Yeah,
so obviously it's been delayed, hasn't it? Been delayed once already, and
the Boys Are Back. The remaining dates were rescheduled. They were originally supposed to be in February, but that's not going to happen. Then they were pushed back to April. Apparently that's not going to happen. So now I think we're looking at September. So the rest of the Boys Are Back tour, which is us, Damage, 5, 911. So great lineup, good night of pop. And we have our own tour as well, which is called the A Game Tour. And that's looking like it's still going ahead. That's much later in the year as well. You can find all the information about it on A1 official on Instagram, on Twitter, and all the other places. So yeah, hopefully that still goes ahead. And we even have a date in London at the Hammersmith in Hammersmith. So hopefully that goes ahead as well.
Yeah. How's it been though? Because you can't really rehearse, you can't really prep for anything. To go ahead. So how has that sort of been getting ready for it?
a lot of working remotely, so a lot of sending each other parts, because we're also making a new album as well. But that has very much been put on hold, because if you can't get in the room together, how are you supposed to write an album together? And don't get me wrong, you can do a lot over Zoom, and it's been a real godsend. It's been amazing, that we're still able to keep in touch, but it's just not the same. I'm very much about that creative process, that magic that happens in the room when the four of us are together. And I feel like it's not quite the same when you're having technical issues and just in the middle of coming up with a line or singing a part of a song, you freeze in a really bad singing face pose. So it's not ideal.
But you're keeping busy. You got a new little YouTube show. It's called Nerd Person Perspective.
I like that. Got a new little. That's not patronising. No, but you're right. It is very little. It's like minuscule. It's that
little
actually.
Bit big.
No, a little bit big. I like that. So that'll be in the tagline. This is the latest Little Bit Big show coming. It's something that I've been meaning to do for a very long time, because a lot of people ask me about, my quirky collections and the fact that I like to collect a lot of things. And I've never really shown that off too much. So, a lot of time on our hands. What better to do than to put together a show? And I have put a lot of work into it. I have really put a lot of effort into it. I've edited it. I've written the script. I've done all done pretty much everything, as you do on lockdown. But I've had very, very little kind of outside help with it. It's just one of those things that you kind of get your head down. A couple of very, very helpful people that have been, helping with some of the creative stuff. But generally, it's just one of those stuck in lockdown. What do you do but make a YouTube show? But I think it's not just a throwaway thing. I think it's going to be very entertaining for some people, for people who like that kind of thing. And I think there are a lot out there. I mean, apparently, YouTube is doing quite well and people watch it. So hopefully it's they're going to find my show, Nerd Person Perspective. Amazing play on words there. I gave myself a good pat on the back for that. Even if it probably has gone over most people's heads. Nerd Person Perspective. Do you get it? Like third person,
I like it.
Usually if you have to explain something, it's not very good.
So what sort of things are you going to be showing off then in this show? Because I know you've got a lot of memorabilia, especially from little teas that you put out this week as well.
I am going to be showing there's a few lines of figures that I've collected just about everyone. And in some cases, I don't know if you know much about collecting figures. Probably not. You're a grown man. You've probably grown out of that kind of thing, but some of us don't. But so there's a few lines that I've actually managed to pretty much complete. So I'm going to show off a whole complexion. Yes, I'm going to show off my complexion.
Why not?
Why not? It's really bad in lockdown. So I just thought it'd be fun to kind of give a little insight into the madness of being a grown man and collecting essentially toys. But the funny thing is people know that it's not kids buying this stuff anyway, because they target these toys and these collectibles. I was going to say, don't call it a toy. They target these collectibles at the adult market because they're the ones that can afford it. Some of the figures they're not priced how they used to be. Like when I was a kid, I'd get very excited about being able to buy a WWF Hasbro figure for $7.99, and I would be super stoked, or a Ninja Turtles figure in around about 91, 92, show my age there. But nowadays you'll be lucky if you can get an action figure, what's considered an action figure, for less than 20 quid. So it's definitely not a kids. It's not just a kids buy market, and it's obviously is a collector's market. And I think this video gives a little insight into some of the rarities that I've got, because I have collected some quite rare figures over the years. I would say, I'm happy to say, I'm quite a serious collector. So this video shows off that aspect, but in a very silly way. So I have fun with it. I'm constantly poking fun at myself because it is ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous myself. And I often quote Comic Book Guy and say, "Oh, I've wasted my life." But all I've wasted my life. But yeah, it's fun, and if something brings you joy, if something brings you happiness, then why not?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly what you got to make the most of it as well. So that's what's good. So before we move on to the Q&A, and also another little game I've got for you as well. What would you say?
I wasn't told about games.
I know, but I thought I'd surprise you.
Well, hey!
But what would you say is like the nerdiest thing you've ever done then? You can't, but you're not allowed to say like anything to do with the memorabilia.
Wow.
Got you there.
There's so many. The thing is there is so many nerdy things that I've done. One of them is included in this first episode, and at the very end, I show you one of the nerdiest things I've done. So I'm not going to give that away. But okay, well, this is quite nerdy, but some people might like, I don't blame you. They had a script reading of an episode. I'm having an episode. They had a script reading of an episode of The Simpsons. Big fan, as you can see.
Yep.
And they had the whole cast there and the creators there in London for this particular script reading, and which is a very rare occurrence. So I thought, I'm not going to miss this opportunity. So I took, under my coat, because I was dressed in a suit and all that kind of thing, I took my Simpsons encyclopedia. And I thought, I'm going to get it signed by everybody.
That's amazing.
Which is such a nerdy thing to do.
Did you?
But I mean, I did it in a very careful way. I didn't like go, will you sign my book, please? I tried to do it in a way that wasn't too in your face.
Yeah.
And I got absolutely everybody. The only person that wasn't there was Julie Kavanagh, who voices Marge Simpson, because she doesn't like to fly, apparently. So she didn't make it, or she wasn't able to make this particular occasion. So all of the cast, Nancy Cartwright, who voices Bart, and several others, Hank Azaria, Harry Shearer, Dan Castellaneta, who's Homer, Barney, Krusty, and the creators as well. So I was like, wow, it was probably the nerdiest thing I've ever done. But I would highly recommend it, because what have you got to lose? At the end of the day, you're not going to be. There's somebody at the door again. You're not going to be going over their house for Sunday dinner. So if you see a chance, take it.
Exactly. Okay, so let's get on to this Q&A. We've had a lot of questions come in from your fans on Twitter, Facebook, the lot. It's all happened, so let's get through them. So firstly, at Sarah Louise 899, she's asking, if you could go back in time, what time would you travel to?
15 minutes ago. What time? 7:15? No, let me think. I would 100% go back to either see Elvis perform live or the Beatles perform live. I mean, I know that's... good grief. I'm really sorry, Matt. Can you ever put this on hold? Because I'm going to have to tell these people where to go.
You tell them where to go.
Bear with. Jeez.
We'll just see what happens while Smart goes to the door.
They're always checking in on me, which is lovely, and vice versa. I'm always checking in on them as well. But yeah, I mean, they're in my support bubble, so it's been nice to be able to go around and spend some time with them. So I will pick up that question.
Yes.
If I could travel back to any time, I would go back to either see Elvis performing live or the Beatles performing live, just to see what that was like. And it always seems so incredible, and it's something that you romanticize about, because I've never lived in that era, but perhaps it would have been similar to when we were at our height. And well, obviously you can't compare A1 Little Big Mania to Beatlemania, but we did used to have deafening screams on all of our gigs, and they used to monitor the volume of the sound, and they said you've broken records and all this kind of stuff, and all of that for Ben's Curtains. So so I who knows, maybe it wouldn't be quite as amazing, so perhaps my answer's not that great, but I think I'd like to see the Beatles performing live, Elvis performing live, and Batman Adam West in the 1960s TV series. I'd like to just go back in time and put myself in that TV show.
It's not a bad era to go back to, I suppose. There's a lot going on
the 60s.
As well.
I could have just ended that answer really quickly by just saying I'd go back to the 60s.
Yeah. It's all right. We want the details. That's what she wants. That's fine. Marianne has messaged in. She wants to know, when will we see a new solo album?
Well, I was all full steam ahead with an A1 album with the guys, but then this happened, the lockdown happened, and now everybody's doing their own thing. So perhaps it is time to be looking at my own material. And I have got an album in the works, but I was just kind of putting it on hold. But perhaps I will. I've already had a couple of songs out last year with Where Were You and Smile Again. So perhaps I will have another one coming out very soon.
Little tease there. View A1 on Twitter is asking, last year you had neuropathic low back pain radiated to your leg. How about the symptoms right now? Have you completely recovered or still having any persistent pain? So they're looking after you there.
We've already talked about The Simpsons. We're not talking about them again. Oh, symptoms, right. Yeah, I am still getting leg pain, but the reason for that is because I'm not mobile enough. I can't go to the gym. I mean, I do like a really long walk every day, like everyone, but there's only so much you can do. And I spend a lot of time, particularly editing this Nerd Person Perspective video. I work in the studio. I don't know if this is the same for you, Matt, but I work 10 in the morning, sometimes till 1 in the morning. So I'll do a full long day editing videos and that kind of thing, sitting in one spot. So that's the reason for the back pain. But thank you, View, for specifically prognosing, what's the expression? Specifically pinpointing the problem I had.
Very specific, wasn't it?
Yes, very specific.
At Laura Boyle 27 is asking, can you even believe you've been doing this for over 2 decades? And how strange is that your music has been like a soundtrack to most of us going through school, getting married and having kids?
Oh, well, that's lovely. Firstly, can't believe we've been doing it that long. Who would let us do it that long? I don't know. But no, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to still do what we do, and that means the world to us. Certainly means the world to me. So, but yeah, I mean, and it's amazing how these songs have sort of hung around. We just had a birthday with Caught in the Middle being 19 years old, I believe, and that song still sounds fresh today as it did when it first came out. Yeah,
love it. So carry on. Lily Lee got there. Hope I've pronounced that right. 17 has asked, now that the COVID-19 situation has not stabilised, will there be a delay in the release of A1's new album, which is initially scheduled to be released in spring?
I think it's fair to say more than likely it will be delayed. Yes, unfortunately, because as I mentioned previously, we've not been able to get into the room together. So if we can't get in the room together, we can't really write songs. I don't want to just phone in an album. I don't think it's fair for the first album that A1 has done as a 4-piece to be just a thrown together. We'll take a song from here, take a song from there. That doesn't seem right. I think for a new album, we need to all contribute. So I think it'll be without a doubt, it'll be worth the wait.
Yeah, 100%. You want to have that vibe. We want to have that experience of doing it all together and not in the same room, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And we look forward to it. And we will be able to get back together, but obviously they're now just closing the borders again. So certainly won't be able to fly over to Norway anytime soon. So yeah, but fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Crystal is been on Twitter and she's asking if you could keep one item from your massive action figure / toy collections, what would it be and why? One figure only.
That's such an impossible question. It really is an impossible question. It would change every day, but watch the show because I do actually show off a huge amount of the figures that I've got. I mean, just about every shot in this video, this 12-minute long episode is my collectibles. So, and me. So expect to see a lot of them, and perhaps you could tell me what you think I should keep hold of and what I should sell. And I probably will end up selling them soon because I've got far too many.
And to be fair, Laura Henson's asking a sort of similar question, but she's asking what your favourite is. Is that just as hard a question?
Yeah, it is. It changes. Again, it changes. But I'm going to say my full-size replica Fozzie Bear.
Look at that. There we go. What an answer.
That
Lally,
you probably haven't heard today. That's
yeah.
like, of all the interviews I've done this week, that's the first time I've heard that answer.
There we go. What can we
It's
say?
exclusive.
I like it. Lally_Jane is asking, are you planning another A1 virtual concert anytime soon?
Yes, we will. We've done 3 or 4 already, and they've all been fantastic. They've all been lovely. So I think we are due another one soon. I know that Christian's working on an album. I think it's just a case of fitting it into the schedule. But yeah, I think we should. We definitely should.
Okay. And one more question. Joe Sumner is asking, do you find songwriting easier during lockdown as you have more spare time to do it, or harder without having inspiration from the experiences you've been having when life was more normal?
That's a very good question, Joe. I have actually found it all quite inspiring for a time, because when something different happens in life, it gives you a completely new perspective on things. And I think with everything that we've all been going through, some more than others, it's kind of helped me to put myself in somebody else's shoes. And it's very, as a creative, when you do any kind of creative work, that's when you're at your best, when you're in situations like they always say, like when you've had your heart broken, that's when you write the best songs. And when there's difficult things going on in the world, that is when you're at your most thoughtful. And that's, I find that's, I've found I've been very inspired during these 3 lockdowns.
Yeah. What a Q&A that was. Thank you so much for all the questions.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
So thank you very much for that. Right, before we end, I do have another game for you, and it involves you picking up objects in the room you're in.
Good.
Right.
Because I'm only staying in this room. The rest of the place is a mess.
Well, to be fair, that might do you well here. Usually this is quite difficult for some. It either goes one way or the other, to be honest.
I've seen this game where people have to run around the house and stuff. I'm not doing that.
That's fine. I'm not asking you to. So it's cool.
I hope you say, find a ukulele. Hey, find a Brit Award. Hey. Okay, take it away.
So it's called Object Alphabet, and basically I'm going to give you 30 seconds to find as many objects you can with the letter.
I just finished eating my apple.
Beginning with the letter that I'm only going to give you one letter, so you've got to find as many objects you can find with that one letter in 30 seconds.
Please say S. Please say S. Please say S. No, you take it away. No.
Right. So Mark Reed, you have 30 seconds. Well, get all the objects and we'll look at them after, so you don't have to worry about it. Right. So you've got 30 seconds to find as many objects, beginning with the letter B. Go.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Like 5 seconds.
Right. Okay. Thank you for messing the place up. That's actually harder than I thought. Okay. Yep. Right.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finito. Capiche. Done.
Okay, I'm good. Are you ready?
Right. What have we got then? Let's have a look. How many?
We've got, first, obviously, as you would find in a room like this, we've got a button.
Okay.
Button.
Yeah. I'll give you
and
that.
Also, I've got quite a few buttons on here.
Yeah. Okay.
I have got
1.
I have got a beetle. A beetle.
Like it. Okay.
Yep.
2.
Well, actually, I've got 4 of those. So if you are counting each item, then now that makes me up to 5 because I have actually got 4 of these.
So that's just one for one beetle. One for one beetle, unfortunately. Yeah, I know. Sorry, it's caused controversy before with people.
Okay,
sorry.
okay. Well, I'm in it to win it. Okay, yeah. I've got. Because I didn't have much of a breakfast. I've got a bounce ball. So it's actually an energy ball.
Right.
Beetroot and cashew. Some people might go, "Oh, that sounds nice." But that's a bounce ball. So that is 3.
Okay, 3.
I have got a book, but it's actually not a book. It looks like a book, but it's not a book. But still, it is a book.
That's 5. Yeah.
Yeah, 5. And then I have got, hang on, what else did I grab? A Brit.
Do you know what? I was wondering when you were going to pick that up.
Yeah, and a Brit. There you go. Let's call it at 6. And if you want to go 7, a book. Well, we've already done book, but that is a box. So there you go.
Okay, 5.
And then I've got this, which is a burgundy flower. So that's 7. That is 7. And then I have got, what else have I got? Damn it, that's a pop shield, not a I think I've nailed it anyway, haven't I?
I'll give you the 7. I'll give you the 7.
Yeah, I think so.
And the Brit was included as well, so I suppose that's a bonus.
I wonder if there was anything else. No, that was pretty good, I think.
Yeah, you smashed it. Absolutely smashed it.
I am surrounded by buttons, so technically I could ace it with that.
Yeah, but unfortunately, rules state can't have more than one.
Good.
But that's
7's
fine.
Good.
So 7 actually equals the record. So
whoa! That's not a B, is it? That's not a B, is it?
No.
No. It's like a squeezed ball, but it's not shaped like a ball. It is a stress ball, which is B, but it is not really a ball.
As much as I'd love to give it to you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Okay, there we are.
Perfect. Amazing. And that is the end of Object Alphabet. Thank you so much for joining me and chatting. Good to catch up as always. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much for keeping in touch, and been a pleasure. And thanks everyone for the questions. Enjoyed that.
See you soon.
Cheers, Matt.